Thank you, Ken Kimani, for that report. Now, the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, has dismissed the recently launched terrorism guidelines by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Haji, saying he will not subscribe to them. In an affidavit filed in court, Kinoti, through Chief Inspector Martin Otieno, said he was never consulted during the guidelines formulation process. According to him, the guidelines are unconstitutional and that the DCI will not accede to being guided by the same in the investigations of terrorism and terrorism offences. Dole Murigi has this report.
In an affidavit filed in court, Kinoti, through Chief Inspector Martin Otieno, says he was never consulted during the process of coming up with the guidelines, noting that they have the best training DCI Academy, but they have never consulted. According to the affidavit, the DCI was only made aware of the validation and the launch of the said guidelines on social media through a press release by DPP Haji without prior notification to him as a principal enforcer of the law on terrorism. According to the directive, the ODPP is supposed to be notified before making any arrest and prosecution on terror suspects.
For the DPP to usurp powers that have been conferred by the Constitution and the National Police Service Act upon the National Police, to wit the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, appears to be the now weak link and a clawback on the gains that have been made in the fight against terrorism.
In the case, Member Charo argues that the guidelines are discriminative in nature as they apply to only the crime of terror and not any other serious crime or offense. Through lawyer Dunstan Omari, Ocharo claims that the guidelines, namely the Inter-Agency Guidelines on Cooperation and Collaboration in the Investigation and Prosecution of Terrorism and Terrorism Financing, the decision by the DPP does not concur with public interest or national security values and is a deliberate effort to circumvent justice through the abuse of office.
The mandate of investigation is provided for in Article 245 of the Constitution to the police and specifically to the DCI. Article 157 gives the Director of Public Prosecution the mandate to prosecute.
According to the guidelines set by the ODPP, state agencies and civil society, the ATPU must notify the prosecutor when the unit is gathering evidence against the suspect and intending to make an arrest unless the exemption of circumstances. Dolly Mirigi, Hope TV.